Hello everyone, it is Briximus Prime, back at it again for another Transformers Studio Series action figure video, and today we're taking a look at the Studio Series Work Friends.
Work friends? You've been inside me.
These Autobot Mirage and Noah Diaz, Exosuit Noah Diaz, from Rise of the Beasts. So yeah, let's just get run on into it by taking a look at the packaging. And now taking a look at the packaging, right up front here, we've got some artwork right there of Mirage with his battle mask and such that he never had in the movie. And then here on the side of the packaging, we got a nice image there of Noah Diaz as well as Mirage right there, again with the battle mask that he didn't have in the movie. Authentic Transformer! Here on the back of the packaging got product images and such, and this is an officially licensed Porsche product. And then here on the side, we just got mug shots of the two characters right here, and that is mostly it for the packaging. And Mirage comes with this little backdrop of like a New York City alleyway kind of look, and you can throw Noah Diaz in there for good measure. Why not? And then getting into the accessories here, Mirage and Noah come with these little like arm cannons right here, which look pretty similar in terms of design. I mean, the Noah Diaz one is pretty much the same cannon, just painted up a little more and, you know, downsized, and Mirage's is, you know, a lot more detailed, but with less paint on it. And pretty much these are pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, you're supposed to place these up his ass on their arms, because then that way it looks like it's kind of transformed out of their hands. And now taking a look at Mirage here, he's got a very nice design. Mirage has a very nice design here on the head. I like the silver in the face and the light blue in the eyes, which contrasts with the blue on his head crest, which, is it just me or like, why does his head look like it's been like dented in? Again, face is fine. That also comes down here to the chest, though I am not really a fan of the Transformers animated really thin waist here. Like, yeah, the window in the back does kind of bulk him up a bit, but it really makes him feel like he's very thin and very hollow right here in the middle, and I'm not really a big fan of how it looks. I mean, it is detailed, yes, but I mean, come on, Mirage was not this skinny. And overall, I think the rest of the design looks alright. I mean, I am a little iffy on the clear plastic here for the forearms. Hopefully these don't break or anything over time, especially here at the elbow joint or the wrist joint. And then the hips right here, I'm not a big fan of because he has these huge door kibble thing right here. These could have easily slid in a little bit more and were more flush to the body. But because of that, the door kibble ends up running into this backpack all the time, and it makes a lot of his posing really, really hard. And again, this doesn't even plug in, and this sometimes has a hard time, and it just feels like a bit of a mess sometimes. But like I said, the details and everything look good. I like the silver paint. So it's like this guy looks good in terms of design and like the way how it's got the details and everything. But in terms of a fun, posable action figure, you might want to look somewhere else.
Disappointed!
And then Noah Diaz here, he looks a lot less like he did in the movie, and the face here makes him look more like he's the Mandalorian. Which honestly, I think it looks a lot better than that CGI'd face that was on the other version. And again, the rest of the detail here does look pretty accurate to what we saw in the movie. I mean, the paint here also looks really well done as well. It's pretty much just a downsized Mirage. Like, some of the design cues here are really similar to Mirage. Though, I don't remember Mirage having a sword, so I'm not entirely sure where this came from. But, oh, is it cool. Something that did also kind of come out of nowhere, but doesn't really belong, is...
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the f*** is that?
Look, I understand that, you know, Noah Diaz never actually had any kind of transformation in the actual movie. I mean, it's just a mech suit. But I do also understand that it's a Transformers product and they have to make it transform somehow. So giving it this backpack, honestly, isn't the worst idea. But what I also think is really cool is that this is removable. So technically you could count this as another accessory, but I think we'll get into this in just a second. But overall, I think this is obviously how Noah is supposed to be displayed, is like this, where he's on his own. Details on the back don't look too bad. And yeah, even though it's a little simple, but it looks a lot better this way. When you put this on him, it kind of gives me vibes of like jet-powered Optimus Prime. With this and the sword combined, maybe he can be tearing some heads off.
Give me your faith.
In terms of posability, Mirage has a ball joint at the head, but it doesn't really allow for any looking up or down. It just swivels from side to side, and that's about it. Ball joints at the shoulders allow him to rotate. They also can move up and down. Bicep swivel, 90 degrees of bend at the elbow. He does get a swivel at the wrist. He does get a waist swivel in theory, but the thing is, with all the kibble moving in the way, it just...
Disappointed!
His hips can rotate forward that far, can't really rotate back that far for obvious reasons. And then his hips can't really move outward that far for obvious reasons. And then he also has a thigh swivel, but it is also limited. Do I really need to say it again? And then he does get a bend at the knee, just barely. He gets some ball joints at the ankles, which are severely limited, but they do allow for a range of pivoting and swiveling and all kinds of range there. So I guess it's all right, but honestly, his posability is also garbage.
I throw trash!
Noah Diaz has a ball joint at the head, which allows him to look up very far and down just a little bit. He can swivel from side to side, does allow for some head pivoting. Ball joints on the shoulders allow him to rotate forward, back, and move in and out. He does have a ball joint at the elbow, which allows for a swivel and a 90 degrees of bend at the elbow. The wings here just flip in and out like so. He has a ball joint at the waist, which allows for waist swiveling. Hips can kick forward, they can kick back. He does have a ball joint at the knee, which allows for swiveling, also bend at the knee. Ball joint at the ankle, which allows for swiveling, pivoting, and moving up and down. And then, of course, if you remove Noah Diaz's backpack here, it allows for all the joints to have unlimited range. And now for compare... Here is Mirage and Noah Diaz next to each other. And I think Noah's a little oversized, but I mean, maybe the suit makes him just look a little bigger, I don't know. But I don't think the scaling here is too bad, but here they are with the Studio Series Optimus Prime, who totally did not cause any trouble for anybody trying to buy him.
For 5 minutes. Could you not be yourself? For 5 minutes!
Here they are with Studio Series Optimus Primal. And then here they are with Studio Series Leader Class Scourge, who absolutely towers over them. And now let's get into the transformation for these two. That's pretty much it for Mirage's transformation, but Noah Diaz, on the other hand... Yeah, this is pretty much just a, accessory. Like I said, it literally is just Noah literally just lying down on the bottom of the jet. It literally just... This isn't a transformer. This is just an over-exaggerated... This is just a slightly more complicated accessory. Unlike Noah Diaz, this car mode does give me something to complain about. It does look good, yes, and it is just barely holding together at the seams, just like my sanity. But I mean, at least the car mode looks great, and I mean, it does technically hold together, barely. And the Porsche itself looks very nice, and I mean, I do like it a lot more than the robot mode, because the robot mode makes me want to gouge my eyes out. And I mean, I've always been a big fan of the Porsche, and I like how it can roll and everything, and I mean, it's not super accurate to Noah Diaz, but as we mentioned before, we don't care. For alt mode comparisons, here is Mirage and Noah compared next to Optimus Prime. Here they are next to the monkey.
Yo, Donkey Kong, stay away from my friend!
And then here they are compared next to Scourge.
Yo, Scourge!
So yeah, that's it for comparisons. And yeah, that is pretty much it for my review on the Transformers Rise of the Beasts Studio Series Mirage and Noah Diaz. Overall, I think the Mirage is kind of disappointing. I think Mirage is an okay action figure. It's just the fact that this guy took up a lot of the screen time and a lot of the attention on Rise of the Beasts. It feels like they should have put a lot of time and effort into really making his alternate mode and robot mode both balanced and the best they could be. Honestly, I think Mirage is probably my least favorite Rise of the Beasts figure that has come out, at least in terms of playability and engineering. He just feels very, very clunky and messy, and it's just not really fun to play with. I have barely touched this thing ever since getting him. I really have just transformed him a couple times, and then, like, that's about it. I've barely ever posed him around or played with him because he's just not that fun, where Scourge, Optimus, Primal, Nightbird, Battletrap, like everyone else I've handled have all been absolute fun, and I cannot stop like touching them or putting them down or posing them, and I just, Mirage just doesn't really live up to the rest of them. Noah Diaz is okay, like I mentioned, there's really nothing to complain about because it gives you the option to have an alternate mode if you want it or not have it if you don't want it. Doesn't matter. And again, I preferred the battle mask on him. Anyway, that is basically it for both figures. If I had to give them a rating, I give the Mirage a very solid 4 out of 10. If I'm being generous, I'll give him a 5 out of 10, but 4 out of 10 is where I'm going to stay. And the Noah Diaz, I'm going to give him a very solid 7 out of 10. So it's like, I do like these figures. I mean, I like the Mirage enough that I own it, but it is not my favorite in terms of it being a toy, and I have a hard time recommending it to people, unless you're a Beast Wars or Rise of the Beasts completionist. So anyway, that's it for this review. If you guys liked it, give me a like on the video, comment below what you guys think, subscribe to the channel for more Transformers and action figure videos, and I'll catch you guys next time.